Shalom, brothers and sisters. Sitting here in another 4 hour stretch of no power in South Africa. The power utilities basically destroyed at this stage. I can't see how it'll improve anytime soon. But yeah, this is in my opinion a planned via corruption and taking orders from their masters up above when they go to these G20 meetings and things. This is a planned thing to make sure that the population stays cowed and broken and obedient to everything that is coming down the pipeline very shortly for the world to slot into place with this whole beast system. And you can see it in America too. Why are they attacking power stations? Why are power stations mysteriously going down at a time of an energy crisis in the world at the moment? Why is it happening in Europe? Why are those things being targeted? Why is electricity and all those kind of things being bombed and taken out of circulation immediately? Because it's the quickest way to get the population to be dejected and give up, to get them down to where you control them. And even though you did it to them, when you bring them relief, you're the hero. You're amazing. So now we're sitting on 10 hours a day of no power, and then they'll come and rescue us and only give us 6 hours a day of no power. And we'll be so grateful. And it'll probably be right before elections. And you know what? They can have times like over Christmas where they can say, okay, no power interruptions. Now, if you can do no power interruptions, it means it's possible all the time. You've just proven it by not having power interruptions when you need it. So no, it's controlled. It's always the hand that pulls the puppet strings, and it's all part of the system. So we keep our heads up, we soldier on, and we push forward. We're in that final 7 years now of really, really bad years that are ahead. And we can see it in a lot of things happening. I mean, I've talked about this so many times, but let's just cover a couple of the most recent ones. Raisi, Assad, Erdogan, and Putin are planning meetings together. And their initial envoys and everything that have already met, the next meetings are the leaders themselves. And they're at a point where they're going to work together. And they're going to stop shooting at each other, and there's going to be peace. And this is all focused, and its core is in Syria, in the Assad regime. And Syria is right on Israel's border, and it's a perfect staging ground, which is why Iran is constantly moving and shipping and flying weapons and military things into Syria, because they're preparing for the Gog Magog war. They know it's coming. They want to be ready with as much on the ground, good to go, as they can. Like the 6 Day War, they want to be able to rush in the minute they get the go ahead from Gog. So that's all building. And now they're all friends and everybody's on board and they're all getting in there. So they're prepping. It's a amassing for something. I will put a hook in your jaw and pull you in for the spoil. There's a lot of spoil to be had in Israel at the moment, from the gas fields to everything else. So, absolutely, this is building right in front of our eyes. And we'll keep watching those meetings, and it's about peace and security and peace and stability. And then the Bible says, sudden destruction shall come upon them. Okay? It's going to happen. If you look at going into America now, they're talking about banning gas stoves. Why do they want to ban gas stoves? Supposedly because of global warming and climate change and all this rubbish. It's because when the power goes, when the grids go, like right now, I've got a gas stove in my kitchen. If we don't have a gas stove, we don't have coffee. We can't cook. We have to go outside and make a fire, which is fine because South Africans love it. We call it braai, which is putting something on the barbie. If you're from Australia, we love it. It's amazing, it's fun, it's healthy. But if the weather's awkward, you got to stand outside and make fire with wood to cook your food, and making coffee just becomes more challenging. You need gas stoves. So what do? We outlaw gas stoves. So we take away your power in America and Europe. We outlaw gas stoves. Now you don't have any way to cook, to heat, to do anything. It's to bring you down and break your spirit. That's what it is. So get yourself some gas stoves now before they implement those draconian laws. You're going to need them. Okay, so for the time we have left, if the power keeps going like it's gone here, it's always handy to have a small gas stove ready to go when you need it. Trust me on this one. I'm not saying prep because we're going to be here for years. I'm saying these are things for the now, in the beginning of the fall of Rome with Wi-Fi that we're experiencing right now. The Titanic that's busy sinking, but at least the band is playing, so we're all happy. Look, the band's playing such a nice song, but no one's noticing that we're actually sinking. The deck's going up. There go the chairs. And people are still blind to the fact that this is the end of the world. That song from my youth that keeps coming into my head. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. That's the world today. Everybody feels fine. Nobody's acknowledging that it's the end of the world. It is. We're there. We've arrived. It's exciting. It's daunting. It's time limiting in the amount of warning we can do. And if people don't like me for the warning, that's fine. When they're in eternity, hopefully on the right side, they can go, thanks for being that crazy moron Jesus freak. I needed it. And if they're not, they can go, you know what? That moron Jesus freak was really trying to warn me. He was loving me, even though I was treating him badly. But my job, your job, is to make sure that we warn them. So, yeah, Syria. Erdogan's calling for peace and ceasefire in Ukraine now. He's trying to be the architect of a peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine. This is crazy. Erdogan, who's pushing for war with Greece, his fellow NATO member, is the guy who's trying to broker peace between Putin and Zelensky. It's a sham. It just doesn't even make sense. But how? How does that even? That's like South Africa doing a special teaching seminar on how to avoid corruption. We are corruption. This whole country's corruption. This government is built on corruption. If you removed corruption, the entire leadership structure would collapse along with every single department throughout this country. So imagine us teaching how not to be corrupt. That's how it is for Erdogan to be teaching them or pushing them for peace. It just doesn't make sense. It's like Iran doing a let's hug your neighbors marathon. It's not going to happen. And then Satan Con 2023. How much fun is that? Thanks for emailing me on that one too. A lot of you are noticing this, which is great. It makes me happy that you guys are watching and seeing. Satan Con. Yeah, Comic Con, awesome. Satan Con 2023, April 28th to the 30th. I'll be watching those dates and seeing their significance. We'll drill into that some more. And it's interesting because forget the Comic Con sense of the reason why there's a con in there. Satan Con. Satan is conning the world in the open. He's in their faces and he's conning everyone. Satan Con 2023 as he starts his last run. What a joke. It's absolutely crazy. UFOs, sightings are through the roof. Messages from the good aliens are through the roof. Everything is prepping towards an explanation for where we've gone. They're prepping and they're preparing for a big reveal on that whole area. You can just see it building. Putin's even claiming that he shot a UFO down over Ukraine. Where's the wreckage? Where are the aliens? Were they Ukrainian aliens? Were they Democrats or Republicans? What? I'd love to know because what the heck are the Nephilim now involved in this war as well? Because which side of it's crazy. So it's down to that they're even involving that little crisis in Ukraine with UFOs as well being shot down. It's insane. Earthquakes are almost reaching 8 and up. They say that shouldn't happen. It's happening. It's getting there. And those are the ones we know about. Now, I keep coming back to this point that I made before. I do not believe that they're telling us everything with regards to earthquakes. I believe we're way past 8 already, and I don't believe they tell us about those because they don't want panic. The same way I don't believe NASA, liars, are telling us everything about all the rocks that are aimed at this planet and coming in fast that they are panicking about, because why have a DART mission to redirect asteroids if you don't see something you don't want to talk about? So there's a lot they don't tell us. So it's much worse. What they're admitting is calm compared to what's actually going on in the background. And that's unfortunately the way the leadership on this planet is working at the moment, which is sad. But you know what? It's what the world needs for this last push, and good luck to them. We won't be here to worry about that. Russia's deployed their ships with their nukes on board and they're practicing how to fire them. They're sailing into NATO areas so that they can be in position for whatever Putin decides to do if he finally reaches that tipping point. Not if, when he reaches that tipping point and decides now's the time to kick it off. And then, you look at the fact that the think tank in America is saying if China attacks Taiwan, they'll lose. This is the think tank? What has happened to America? Where's the thinking in this? This is the doof tank, the stupid tank. China will lose if they attack Taiwan. If they attack Taiwan, it's not even going to be a Ukraine thing. This is going to be a quick over-rolling tsunami running right over that island. There's no way they lose. And then they take all the resources and the chip manufacturing and everything and they control that on the market the minute they take Taiwan. But the think tank in the US says don't stress. China will be absolutely destroyed economically, psychologically, financially, everything if they attack Taiwan, which is why they're not doing it. No, they're waiting for a very specific thing that they've planned between themselves and Russia and Iran and all their partners for the exact perfect time to do what they need to do to kick this whole party off. That's my opinion. I disagree with the think tank that China would be destroyed if they take on Taiwan. Who was doing the thinking there and what time of day was it when they came up with it? Was this Biden? Maybe Biden's think tank is full of like-minded individuals. They're all geriatric and not well anymore. I don't know. It's this elder abuse on a whole different scale. There's definitely no thinking there. It's crazy. And then speaking of Biden, this is twice now that they found classified documents by him. And nothing's going to happen. Nothing will happen because they need Biden. But they found classified documents on Trump and everybody lost their minds. Chaos. But now twice with Biden, and what's going to happen? Nothing. Like with his son's things. It shows you we're controlled and everything's been controlled and everything's working towards a point. But it's okay because Davos is having their meeting. They're hosting 2,300 plus leaders, World Economic Forum, now in the next month or so in Davos. They've hired high-tech specialist military security to look after themselves while they discuss the end of the world and how they're going to bring it about in the New World Order, and maybe even have coffee with Antichrist as they prep all these things. All of this going down now. And then artificial intelligence. Can't leave that out of the equation. As we go into 2023, at the very beginning part of 2023, they've already invested globally $500 billion into pushing AI as hard as they can to go forward. Tesla's got their robot that's up and running and perfect. They're talking about the brain chip that they want to implant. Even Musk wants one in the next few months. It's crazy. It's going to play a big part in the beast system. Unemotional, disconnected, can't be reasoned with, controlling power that'll be run by the beast system. And AI will be scary in what it'll do. There's no shame feeling sorry for you or anything. It's going to be bad. It's going to play a massive role. And that is coming very, very fast. So, the world heading towards an apocalyptic time? Absolutely. Final 7 years? Absolutely. The timelines adding up? Absolutely. Are we scared? No. Are we worried about the Kraken being released now? No. Are we stressed about no power and all these things happening? No. Because our God reigns. My Redeemer lives. Just like Job said, I know that my Redeemer lives, and I will see him at last on the earth. I will go with him in the clouds, and I will come back with him and see him on the earth. He's coming back twice. He's coming back for us, his bride, who is not destined for wrath. And then he's coming back in glory and power, that all will look on him whom they pierced, and all will call out that Jesus is Lord. They will weep when they realize what they've done. And he will wrap this whole story up once and for all. And no matter how difficult it gets, brothers and sisters, we are approaching that glorious, glorious reunion in the sky. And I can't wait for us to get there. But until we do, we will run together, pray together, persist until we reach that naughty corner. God bless. Keep watching, and I will be chatting to you and uploading rapture updates as fast as I can and news stories as they happen. News stories are not to scare you. They are not to promote fear. They are to show you what they are doing and what is happening, and all of it speaking to prophecy. God bless. Keep watching. Shalom.